Good morning slash afternoon, everyone, depending on where you are tuning in from. My name is Liana Salama. I head up the Marketing and Communications Group over at the Specialty Food Association, and I am very excited to introduce you what promises to be your best January ever, Winter Fancy Fair 2026, being held in San Diego. Just a few notes about what we're going to cover off on today. We are going to go through some pre-show preparation, ways that you can plan out to navigate the show and achieve ultimate efficiency and effectiveness while you're on site with us. Some tips and techniques for connecting with exhibitors and attendees, a little information about the exhibit hall, some of the features and activations there and how you navigate, our on-site experiences, our Beyond the Convention Center experiences, and then we will leave some time at the end for a Q&A. What I would ask everyone to do is go ahead and drop your questions into the Q&A function in the Zoom window. Some of them will be answered behind the scenes in writing by our colleagues, and others we will answer live at the end of the presentation. So let's get going. I'm excited to introduce you all to Michelle McDonald. Michelle, you can tell everyone a little bit about yourself as we get going.
Thank you, Liana. Hi, I'm Michelle McDonald, and I'm the Director of Buyer Relations for the Specialty Food Association. And I'm really pleased to be here today to talk about this presentation of how to have the best ever Winter Fancy Fair and get you prepped for success. So one of the first things that we're going to talk about are key show details. So you'll see here a timeline. The show really kind of starts January 10th, Saturday evening at 5 p.m. For two invite-only events, which is the buyer welcome reception and the new member party. But the exciting thing is our campus tasting trail does open on this day. So we will talk about it further in this presentation, but you will definitely want to make your reservations at these restaurants that we partnered with. They're super fabulous. And then the show officially opens on Sunday, January 11th, from 10 to 4 p.m. Show floor opens for buyers starting at 9:30 in the morning. And the Good Food Mercantile has co-located with us this year. So the Mercantile will take place at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that will be held at the Plaza, which is right outside the Convention Center, between the Convention Center and the Hilton Bayfront. The next day of the show is Monday, January 12th. And again, the show floor opens at 10 a.m. and closes at 4. Buyers also have access to the show floor at 9:30 on Monday. And at 4 p.m., our Sophie Awards Ceremony begins, and that will run till 6 p.m. And then we have another exciting event in the evening from 7 to 9. That is our Culture in Common Party that will be taking place at the Soap Factory. And of course, our campus tasting trail is also open on Monday as well. And then the last day of the show is Tuesday, January 13th. Show hours are from 10 to 3. And again, buyers have access to the show floor starting at 9:30 in the morning. So let's talk pre-show preparation. So the first thing you want to do, if you haven't already, is register for your badge. You cannot get on the show floor unless you have your badge. So you want to make sure to do that. And you will also get our insider emails. So you want to be able to be reading about all the exciting things that are happening at the show. And the sooner you sign up for your badge, the sooner you will get those communications. The other thing that you will want to do is start your research on the exhibitors who will be showcasing at the Winter Fancy Fair. And you will start to see lots of trends that are coming through in the products that they have placed in their profile in the show app, which we will talk about in just a moment. But definitely want to do your research so that you can map out your time at the show and work it as effectively as possible. And then the other thing that you will want to do is make your restaurant reservations. Regardless of party size, there will be a lot of people in town and reservations will be hard to come by. So you definitely want to book those in advance, especially for the restaurants that we're partnering with on the campus tasting trail. So the next thing I'm really excited to talk to you about is our new tech tool. It's our new event app. the team has been working so hard on this exciting tool. It is really fabulous and will be the best way to help you work the show. There will not be a printed guide at the Winter Fancy Fair. So you want to download this app. It's titled Winter Fancy Fair. It is available now in the App Store. So go ahead and download it. It is free of charge. And get in there and start to check out the exhibitors and the sessions, the first taste table, and all the things that we have going on at the show. To access the app, you will need to register. So it's really important that you do that step first so that you can get into the app and check out all the sessions. Like I said, start to do your research on the exhibitors. The app does have an AI component to it. So the more you use this app, the more it's going to learn the types of companies that you're interested in, and it will start to serve up other recommendations that you might find appropriate for your business. There is a show planner, so you can go ahead and start making connections with exhibitors. Reach out to them when you have made a connection and they have agreed to connect with you. You can then start to have dialogue back and forth. All communication will take place in the app, and you have to make the connection. If an exhibitor has not connected with you or you have not connected with the buyer, you cannot communicate with one another. You do have the option not to say yes. So once you have done so, you can have great dialogue. You can reach out to them and schedule appointments and, check out all the cool things that they're doing. So there's lots of actionable insight and data that will happen in the app, and it's a really important tool, so you don't want to miss out and not download it. We will also have some kiosks on the show floor that will be a replication of the app, but it's much easier if you already have it in your cell phone and can use this tool as you're walking the show floor. And then this slide here is a really nice representation of the kinds of exhibitors that we will have at the Winter Fancy Fair. Lots of great new brands that will be on the show floor, showcasing lots of really exciting new products. If you click on the QR code, it will bring you to a full list of the exhibitors that you will see in the show app. So definitely check these out and start to do your research. Again, I cannot emphasize enough how many really great brands that we have coming to the show. Lots of new items, and you don't want to miss out. And then this slide here represents just a snapshot of the types of retail organizations and buyers that will be walking the show floor. Again, if you click on this QR code, it will give you a listing of all the retailers who will be at the show who are currently registered. More retailers are registering every day as there are more exhibitors also coming online every day. So again, download that app, get in there, and you want to go back and check it out often so you can see all of the new buyers and all of the new companies who are coming online as we get closer to the show.
Thanks so much, Michelle. I will jump
Thank
in
you.
and take back over again and talk a little bit about some of the activities, activations, and events that will be taking place at Winter Fancy Fair this year. So first of all, what you see here is a snapshot of our floor plan, which you can find on the website and through the app as well. And you can actually use that to navigate kind of your plan to get through everything. But all of these little purple callouts that you see are areas of interest on the show floor that we think you'll want to check out as you are exploring. So a few of them that I'll dive into, some of the new things that we have here. One is called Discovery Point. Discovery Point is an area that consists of a few different activities and activations. One is our Discovery Kitchen, which will showcase chef demonstrations And certainly a lot of trade shows have chef demonstrations. They're fairly common. What we're really doing is leaning into the types of new products and ingredients that are being showcased around the show floor. So inviting in chefs from the local San Diego area, as well as, certainly others from around the country, but giving them an opportunity to work with some really new and bespoke types of ingredients and products to come up with really innovative dishes and demonstrate how some of these new emerging brands and products can be brought to life in folks' homes. Another part of Discovery Point is our Discovery Demo area, which is an area that will have a series of pods with educational information and demonstrations related to kind of the future state of the food supply chain. So things around different types of ingredient development, different types of sensory explorations, regenerative farming, all types of approaches to the food supply chain that I think our industry is really keen to get to know a little bit more about. And then the final piece of Discovery Point is actually a relatively new addition, which is we will have an area that showcases the various new products that are on the show floor, specifically products that have been in market for 6 months or fewer. So a great place to start out and get a snapshot of some of the really exciting newest products that are spread across Winter Fancy Fair. The next activation is First Taste Table. And this is something that, Michelle talked a little bit about the show app. This is a reservation-based activity activation. And you can book reservations through that show app once you are registered and signed up. But the First Taste Table it's a communal table where we are inviting buyers, press, and investors to participate in guided tastings of our Sophie finalists. So our Sophie finalists, we have 3 finalists in each of 25 product categories, and we will have sessions taking place all 3 days that host flights of these different finalists, both before and the last day after we have announced the actual winners in each of those 25 categories. So space is limited on those. So again, the sooner folks are registered and have access to the app and can make those reservations, the more likely it is you'll be able to sit in and experience, the stories behind some of those finalist products. And then the third one I want to talk about here is our Spotlight Shop. And this is an evolution of something that SFA has been doing for a long time, which is our Spotlight Showcases. So previously, our Spotlight Showcases they were kind of the glass enclosed plexi displays of various products in their packaging. What we've done this year is we have actually partnered with a couple of professional retail merchandisers and designers to actually stand up a little mini retail space within the convention center. So Spotlight Shop is designed to look like a true kind of pop-up retail environment, along with the different types of end caps and activations and shelf talkers that you might find in a retail establishment. So it's a chance to experience the products that are on the show floor in a retail environment right there at the show. So looking at our programming preview, again, I talked a little bit about Discovery Point, both the kitchen and the demos, but to give you a little bit more detail here, again, really kind of to lean into on the kitchen side, the exhibitor products and, really bringing San Diego and West Coast chefs and ideas to work against those products. And then with the demos, again, it's a showcase of trends, ingredient technology, wellness, all of these other types of things. The presenting brands and the sessions and chefs, actually a number of them, probably I want to say about 80% of them are already published on the show app. So as you, again, get registered and get set up on that app, you can actually go in and start to read a little bit more about some of the exciting chefs and products and topics that will be covered in these areas. A couple notes on our stages. Our North Star stage, so this is an off the show floor area. We'll be holding a couple of larger keynotes and trend sessions. Our keynote this year is Sam Kass, the previous senior policy nutrition advisor to the Obama administration. He actually has done a lot of work all throughout his career in food systems and in looking at ways to increase nutrient density and minimize environmental impact in the supply chain. So he has a new book out that just came out last month called The Last Supper that offers a 4-pillared approach to how the average everyday person can contribute to the betterment of the food supply system. So very excited to hear from him and talk a little bit about this action plan that all of us can put into play once we leave the convention center. We also have our Pathfinder stage, that is our on the show floor stage. And these are sessions that are more startup focused, but some of your traditional panels and pitching and these types of things. One of our speakers is Ashley from the Food Corridor, who's just coming off a very successful Shared Kitchen Summit earlier this week, who will talk about incubators, farmers markets, and the power of community. So again, sessions for both of these stages are live on the show app. So you can go in and you can take a look and start to schedule out which ones you want to make sure you save time for. Our Sophie Awards ceremony, normally our Sophies have been associated with the summer show. We have made a conscious decision to move it into the winter show to align with kind of the first of the year announcements and tent poles for the year ahead. So our Sophie Awards ceremony will take place Monday, immediately upon the show floor closing. It'll take place on site. And it will be an event. It will include sampling of some of the different product finalists in some bespoke dishes, and it will include announcements of all of the 25 gold award winners, one in each of our 25 categories, and then 5 grand honors winner, which are kind of the overall innovations of the year types of awards. So that'll take place on site immediately upon show close on Monday. So then there's a numbers of things we're doing beyond the convention center. I think everyone, hopefully has heard some of our positioning around Winter Fancy Fair as being something that is more than just a trade show. There is still a trade show, of course, as you've just seen, and that's really at the heart, the nucleus of what we're doing. But once you've, kind of stepped outside of that convention center, we have made a conscious effort to kind of push and permeate our presence and our community out into the San Diego community. It's really very easy when you're at a convention to not even know what city you're in. You kind of drop into a convention center, and once you're in that convention center, a lot of them kind of look the same. And what we heard from our audience was that they really wanted to have an opportunity to blend that kind of business and personal experience where they can experience the culture and the community of the city that they're part of and not just the convention center that they happen to be dropping by. So a few ways that we're doing this. The first is our campus tasting trail, which Michelle mentioned back in the earlier part of this presentation. But what this is, we selected 3 neighborhoods in San Diego, the Gaslamp Quarter, Little Italy, and Barrio Logan. And we've partnered with a number of restaurateurs in those areas to actually take on a few of our exhibitor and member products over the 3 days of the show and work them into bespoke dishes that will be available while we're in town. So as a Winter Fancy Fair participant, if you visit one of these restaurants during the time that we're in town, you will actually receive one of those dishes at no charge. SFA will pick up the cost for that dish for you. The dish can also be purchased by any consumer who is not part of Winter Fancy Fair, but we want to make sure that it is complimentary for our participants. So what we've really done here is tried to create an environment where we're bringing all of this amazing specialty food into San Diego. And then we're working with these chefs and restaurateurs to give them an opportunity to look at the products we're bringing into their city and reflect those products back to us and our community through kind of their unique lens and their culture. So really looking forward to seeing how some of these chefs use the different specialty food products that we're bringing into town to create really interesting and innovative dishes that all of us can experience as we go through our time in San Diego. Full list of the restaurants that are participating, along with the brands that will be featured at each of these restaurants, is due to be posted on the website here in the next few days. All of the restaurants are already listed. We're in the process of finalizing the pairing with the different member products. So all of that information is coming shortly. There will also be a handful of retailers in each neighborhood who will be offering member products as a gift with purchase. So if you visit and shop at any of these retailers while we're in town, you will walk away not only with your, souvenir from San Diego, but also with a little gift of one or more of our members' products that you can take home with you. First night celebration. This is, we've always done a party at the close of each show opening day, but this one is really special. First night celebration will take place on Sunday, January 11th, immediately upon the close of the show floor. And when you walk out of the San Diego Convention Center, immediately across the tracks and about a block down is Petco Park, which also includes a fabulous area called Gallagher Square, which is a really great kind of, gathering spot where there's a, stage that they put on music events and concerts, different catering opportunities, a lot of different games and activities outside. So we're going to all walk across the street there and head over to Gallagher Park for our opening night celebration. They'll have, of course, there'll be bites and drinks and everything else. It's open to all show participants at no cost. And this is where we are going to announce what we are, the 2026 trend of the year, which we are hard at work identifying as we speak and cannot wait to find out what it is and then announce it to everyone else. But really the idea being it's kind of the singular, piece of the consumer sensibility going into 2026 that, we think the industry should really stay attuned to and pay attention to. Finally, our Culture in Common party. So this will take place on Monday, January 12th, after the Sophie event. It's in an area called Logan Heights, which is right near the Barrio Logan neighborhood that I mentioned, and we will provide transportation from the convention center over to this area so we can all head over together. This is really just a celebration of community, of our community, of the San Diego community. Again, there will be food and drink here prepared with member products by some of the different chefs there. And the Soap Factory is the venue it's being held at. And Soap Factory is a really special place in San Diego and specifically in the Logan Heights neighborhood. Barrio Logan and Logan Heights is really the heart of the Chicano community in San Diego. And what the soap factory does, it certainly started its life out as a true soap factory. And what it is now is a nonprofit venue that does a couple different things. In addition to hosting, different events, they actually put on a number of complimentary services for kids in the neighborhood. So a lot of the underserved kids or disadvantaged youths in the area can spend time here at the soap factory where they learn things like gardening. There's a full hydroponic garden there that they tend to and that they can pull from. There is still soap making classes. There's woodworking and kind of power tools and, and homemaking types of classes. So that these kids, instead of being out on the street, are really getting an opportunity to learn some of these vocational skills that are going to benefit them in the long run. There's even college credit available for these kids for some of the different pieces and parts. There's an artist in residency program. So the Barrio Logan and Logan Heights neighborhood has really built itself up in San Diego around art and food. So the Artist in Residency program has a handful of folks there who are giving back to the community through some of the art that they're doing. And then there's a little food hall area where chefs who have ambitions to open restaurants or, take on a culinary career can come in and they can test drive some of their ideas. And what we'll have them do at this event is test drive some of their ideas, again, using our member products. So it's a celebration of our community and the San Diego community coming together. And it's the type of place where just by virtue of having an event there, we are inherently going to leave the community better than we found it, just by providing kind of the additional support and revenue to a place that really takes care of its community on its own. So that is the end of our presentation. That is all of the different ways that we think that you are going to have the best January ever during the 4 days that we are in San Diego in January. So at this time, I do want to go ahead and open it up for questions. I don't see any in the Q&A currently, but I want to give just a moment for people to go ahead and pop one in there before we wrap up. All right. Well, I don't see any questions, which obviously means that the presentation told you everything you could possibly want to know. Oh, wait. Yes, the Good Food Mercantile is during the show. So the Good Food Mercantile will take place on Sunday. It will be on site at the convention center in a little outdoor covered area on Sunday of the show during the same show hours as our event, which is 10 to 4 on Sunday. Okay, sounds like there's another question, but it's not here yet. Randy, what can I tell you? Spotlight Shop refrigerated? So there is opportunity for refrigerated products in Spotlight Shop. You'd want to reach out to your sales rep and they can kind of talk you through what the opportunities and options are there. But yes, we specifically made sure there were refrigerated and frozen areas within there. All right. Well, with that, I want to thank everyone for spending a little bit of time with us and really, really looking forward to sharing all of these incredible experiences and activations with you once we get to San Diego. Again, it's an interesting time of year. I live in Chicago and you come out of the winter season, and once all the holidays have kind of been put to bed, everything feels a little gray and slushy. So the idea of reconnecting with the specialty food community out in glorious San Diego and having some fun and learning a lot and discovering a lot of new products. I can't think of any better way to spend January coming off of there. So thanks so much, everyone. We look forward to seeing you in San Diego.
Thank you. Have a great day.